Coming from the voluntary sector, I think quite often staff are an untapped resource. You know, too often you've got staff that bring a whole wealth of skills with them, but you'd rather pay someone else to come in and deliver when you've got it right in front of you at your fingertips.
The gifts of the head and the hand and the heart. We've used that with our whole staff, and actually we extended that beyond our own staff into the chief exec and the executive director when they arrived. But it's about recognising that different people, all of us, bring something different to the table, and actually sometimes you know, the gifts that we have aren't the ones that we're employed to do. It's about hearing other people's stories of how they operate.
Part of our performance management will be stories of change, and they'll be the journey our members of staff take with either groups or individuals to actually look at them over a year, so that's a key performance indicator for us to show change stories in each of the different services.
When you hear the way that other people are working in different departments, different teams, working with different sections of the community and stuff like that kind of thing, it's really good.
We've delivered things that maybe haven't worked, but what we do is we don't let, that's not a barrier, we go back, we speak to the public, the community we're working with. You then analyse yourself a little bit to say, you know, what is there changes I have to make, and we've certainly all made those changes in our own careers. We delivered health awareness sessions within primary schools for primary 3, 4 and 5 children, and we delivered those probably for about 5 or 6 years, and they were excellent. They were. But we noticed that the children in the sessions thoroughly enjoyed them. The teachers were really enthused that we were there. But what we started to notice was, and this is when we really started to change the way we work, was that the children were going home really enthused, and the parents made the decisions because they had the finance, they were the adults. So the children really wanted to have a healthy diet. They wanted to make those changes, and either the parents maybe didn't have the knowledge, they didn't have the experience, they didn't have the confidence. So this was almost 6 years ago, and then we spoke together, and it was Angie and Katie and Lorraine and myself, and we sat down and we said, those sessions they're working really well, but the kids are enjoying them, but we're making no impact, and it's not sustainable. So we then did a little bit of research, we spoke to some local groups, we had some focus groups, and we started to then deliver a family-centred programme which tackled childhood obesity and was called MEND. So Mind, Exercise, Nutrition, Do It. It's a full family-based programme. So 6 years later, just some examples from there. So from that family-centred programme, we now have a group that have their own committee. They source their own funding. These are parents. The children are volunteers and deliver the activity sessions to the younger children in the group. They are volunteers on our volunteer database. They are now given back to their community. Almost Business started up because one of the parents was a chef, but he was unemployed. So we then honed in on his skills, and then he then started to really build his confidence, because I think initially he was kind of low confidence as well, and he built his confidence, and he's really the leader within that.
See, when I look at some services that we've grown organically through the local authority or whatever, that have been funded for a short period of time, and there was a consistent need to prove, to deliver all the time and make sure, then I see real hunger that doesn't seem to go away in those people.
We're playing bonding visits within the local prison, so it's just really using active play sessions for fathers, children, maybe uncles, nieces, nephews, granddads, grandchildren, to come in, move around the hall, and I'm looking at active and free way to, you know, use play to bond and interact with each other. So I think just having that relationship with him through the bonding visits, he is really going to think about, you know, he's been in and out of prisons for years and what he's been doing, but I really do feel that he's kind of thinking, you know, the past 18 months I've been in here, and like I didn't see his first steps, for example, and he's really thinking about having that relationship with him and going out, and probably I really do think that will make a big difference to him and a big change when he's back out in the community.
And that's so important, because if we don't think that, if we don't believe that what we're doing is making that difference, then that's why you don't get out of your bed in the morning and come to work motivated.
I think vibrant communities are closer shoulder to shoulder with the voluntary sector, our element, but not elements of East Ayrshire Council are. And I've found myself, the way we are working and the way we are doing things, much more aligned. We want to blur the roles between us and the voluntary sector. We don't really care where one stops and starts. We've got a really good relationship with the CVO, and I'm finding myself advocating for them within the council.
Rather than say, how do I fix this person, you know, how do I support and facilitate and enable this person to be putting in place their own, you know, path for how they're going to move forward. And I guess trying to relinquish control over the money of the council, over the services of the council, and over what we do, and with that comes relinquishing power.
Two parts of my job, and mine, Angie's and Dot's, is to change culture in the organisation. So we're out doing work with other teams of staff. It's about leading, and I think it's also about empathy and about recognising relationships. And I mean, if you're to try and distill some of the magic spell down, but also get empowerment and people just knowing that they can do things and that they'll be backed up, because that's scary stuff. People within other parts of the council are really getting that, and others, I suppose, there's been some
hard gigs
because people are like, oh, that's them. The biggest success for us, as far as corporately, is that we saved £600,000, which was fairly painful. You know, it's a big percentage of our budget, but in terms of the corporate side, something's been born out of a total redesign has happened.
That's also made us work that different way.
Yes.
So when I said earlier on I'd like to go and fix things, a lot of time that was with money. A lot of time that was with doing, let's just go in a big massive parachute in with all this money and do this. We simply don't have that money.
I think a lot of it's partnership working.
You're
you know,
right.
we've got this wee ball that we're working at, but if that then leads into this path and somebody's not supporting it, whether it be within your team, whether it be within the NHS, voluntary sector, if they're not supporting it or they've not bought into it, then that wee bit you're doing is not really
as good as
it could be. So it's about that path and how everybody fits into it. Voluntary, public, private. There's something for everybody in there.
Because if we're working in a way with people where they feel enabled and empowered, and then they come across a part of a service or organisation that is back to the whole control thing, then you know that quickly eradicates the positive work. So that's why the culture change part, to get everybody contributing across the organisation, is so
because
important.
you lose trust so quickly.
Oh,
You
yeah.
do, and you lose confidence and faith so quickly as well. The big challenge for me when you were asking about challenges is being given the time to develop those relationships properly,
Yeah.
because that doesn't happen overnight, and there needs to be an understanding that you don't just do this and walk away.
Yeah.
You don't go bump, 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 bump across thousands of people. You have to develop relationships.
And those relationships do take time. I work within Child Healthy Weight and I work with those families, and that certainly takes that time. And I think if you're able to do that, that's where you can build up those relationships we've talked about, and then those are the people, and this is really important for us, they then go back into their local communities and they can then start to empower other people that maybe are not at the stage where they want to speak to someone and that works for the local government, works for the council. They maybe are not at that stage, but if they can then go and speak to someone within their community that's been affected by the partnership working and how the relationships we have built together, they are then enablers within the local community. We don't know they're doing it, and they probably don't know they're doing it.
The question we used to ask is, how do I fix this? The one we ask now is, how do I empower these people to be able to find the solutions? How do I work with these people? So how do I help them to fix this for themselves?